Welcome back, coin collectors and enthusiasts. Today, we're diving into the fascinating world of United Kingdom 1 penny coins, exploring the top 5 most valuable examples that have captured the attention of collectors worldwide. From rare mint marks to unique years and varying conditions, these coins are not just currency, they are pieces of history with stories etched in copper. Let's get started. First up, United Kingdom 1 penny dated 1935. A coin that may look humble at first glance, especially when found in rusty or corroded condition, but still holds surprising historical importance and collector interest. Many people assume that damaged coins are worthless, but that is not always the case. In this video, we'll uncover the story behind the 1935 penny, examine its unique characteristics, discuss its rarity even in poor condition, and reveal its realistic auction market value in US dollars. If you've ever found an old penny in a drawer or inherited a small coin collection, this video is for you. The 1935 1 penny was issued during the reign of George V, one of Britain's longest-serving monarchs. This period sits between the two world wars, a time when the British economy was still recovering from World War I while unknowingly heading toward World War II. The penny was a vital everyday coin used by millions across United Kingdom, making it one of the most commonly circulated denominations of the era. Struck in bronze, the 1935 penny continued a design tradition that had already been in use for decades. While the year itself is not considered extremely rare in terms of mintage, surviving examples, especially those with readable details, are becoming harder to find as time passes. Environmental exposure, moisture, and long circulation have left many examples heavily worn or rusty, which adds another layer to their story. Unique features of the coin. The obverse of the 1935 1 penny features a dignified left-facing portrait of King George V, surrounded by a Latin inscription identifying him as king and emperor. Even in rusty condition, collectors often look for how much of the portrait detail remains visible, such as the outline of the head, facial features, and the clarity of the legend on the reverse. The coin displays the iconic seated Britannia holding a trident, a symbol of Britain's naval power and national identity. The word penny and the date 1935 appear prominently beneath the design. Rust and corrosion often attack the fields of the coin first, but if Britannia's outline and the date are still legible, the coin retains collector value. The coin's large size and classic artwork are major reasons it remains popular with collectors today. While the 1935 penny is not classified as a key date rarity, collector demand remains steady, even for examples in rusty or heavily circulated condition. Why? Because many collectors aim to build complete date runs of George V pennies, and not everyone can afford high-grade specimens. Damaged coins often serve as affordable placeholders. Interestingly, rusty condition can sometimes indicate long burial or storage in harsh environments, which adds a form of historical character. As long as the coin is genuine, clearly dated, and not completely smooth, there is still demand, especially from beginner collectors, educational buyers, and bulk lot purchasers. Coins with unusual corrosion patterns or partial minting errors may attract additional attention at auction. Now let's talk about money. In rusty or corroded condition, a 1935 United Kingdom 1 penny typically sells for around $433,000 in online auctions. Coins with severe corrosion but visible date and design may still reach this range. If the coin retains stronger details despite rust, such as a clear portrait or full Britannia, it can sometimes achieve $216,000, especially if two bidders compete. Bulk lots can slightly reduce individual value, while standalone listings with good photographs often perform better. It's important to note that prices fluctuate depending on demand, presentation, and overall market trends. While this coin won't make you rich, it certainly isn't worthless, and its historical value often outweighs its monetary price. If you own a rusty 1935 penny, do not clean it aggressively. Cleaning can destroy original surfaces and lower value instantly. Instead, store the coin in a dry, non-PVC holder to prevent further corrosion. If you're buying one, focus on legibility. A readable date and recognizable design are more important than surface perfection in low-grade coins. For new collectors, this coin is an excellent entry point into British numismatics. It's affordable, historically rich, and widely recognized. If you're selling, clear photos and an honest description of condition will help attract the right buyers and ensure fair pricing. In conclusion, the United Kingdom 1 penny 1935, even in rusty condition, remains a meaningful and collectible piece of British history. It represents a world on the edge of massive change, carried in the pockets of everyday people nearly a century ago. While its auction market value in dollars may be modest, its historical significance, classic design, and steady collector demand make it far more than just an old coin. Next up, the United Kingdom 1 penny 1930, a coin that looks ordinary at first glance but hides a fascinating story beneath its worn copper surface. This particular episode focuses on the coin in circulated condition, examining why it still attracts strong collector interest, how rare it truly is, and what kind of auction market value it can achieve in US dollars today. Even with scratches, smoothing, and age-related wear, the 1930 penny remains a key date that continues to spark excitement among collectors worldwide. The 1931 penny was struck during the reign of King George V, a period marked by economic uncertainty between the two world wars. Britain was still feeling the long-term effects of World War I, and the global economy was sliding toward the Great Depression. Despite these challenges, everyday coinage like the penny remained essential for daily trade. The 1930 penny was produced by the Royal Mint, continuing a long tradition of copper coinage that had been part of British life for centuries. While millions of pennies were struck in the early 20th century, not all dates were produced equally, and 1930 stands out as one of the more elusive issues. The 1931 penny is composed of bronze, giving it the familiar reddish-brown tone that often darkens with age. On the obverse, the coin features the left-facing portrait of King George V, surrounded by the Latin legend identifying him as King and Emperor of India. The reverse displays the classic Britannia design, Britannia seated, holding a trident and shield, symbolizing Britain's maritime strength and stability. In circulated condition, many examples show softened details on Britannia, reduced facial features on the king, and smooth high points. However, even with visible wear, the date 1930 remains the most important detail, as it instantly signals potential rarity to collectors. What makes the 1930 penny special is not just its age, but its lower survival rate compared to surrounding years. Many were heavily used in everyday commerce, leading to significant wear, damage, or complete loss over time. As a result, even damaged or heavily circulated examples are actively collected. Scratches, corrosion, edge knocks, and discoloration are common, yet these flaws do not eliminate demand. For budget-conscious collectors, circulated or damaged pieces offer an affordable entry point into owning a key-date British penny. This steady demand ensures that the 1930 penny rarely goes unnoticed in coin lots, estate sales, or online auctions. When it comes to auction market value, condition plays a major role, but rarity still carries weight. In well-circulated condition, a genuine 1930 UK penny can typically sell for $433,000, depending on eye appeal and clarity of the date. Examples with heavy damage, corrosion, or bends may fall closer to the lower end, around $225,000, especially in mixed coin lots. However, better circulated pieces with readable details and minimal corrosion can reach $20 or more at competitive auctions. Prices may spike higher when multiple collectors bid on a clean, evenly worn example, proving that even circulated coins can command respect in the marketplace. If you're considering adding a 1931 penny to your collection, start by carefully checking authenticity. Weight, diameter, and design details should match known standards. Avoid coins that are excessively cleaned, as harsh cleaning can reduce long-term value more than natural wear. Look for pieces with a clear date and balanced wear, even if the coin is dark or scratched. Storage is also important. Keep the coin in a dry environment, preferably in a protective flip or holder, to prevent further corrosion. Finally, monitor auction trends regularly, as demand for classic British copper coins continues to grow internationally. In conclusion, the United Kingdom 1 penny 1930 proves that a coin does not need to be mint state to be meaningful or valuable. Even in circulated condition, it represents a unique chapter of British history, carries genuine collector demand, and maintains a solid auction market value in dollars. Whether you're a seasoned numismatist or a beginner discovering old pennies in a drawer, the 1930 penny is a reminder that history, rarity, and value often walk hand in hand, sometimes hidden in the most humble-looking coin. Next up, the United Kingdom 1 penny 1946, specifically in a black shade condition. At first glance, a darkened or damaged coin may seem ordinary, but in the numismatic world, such surface changes can tell a powerful story. In this video, we'll uncover the history behind this post-war penny, examine its unique features, discuss why even damaged examples attract collectors, and most importantly, break down its auction market value in US dollars. Stay tuned, because you might be surprised at what this humble-looking coin can be worth. The 1946 1 penny was issued just after World War II, during a period of rebuilding and economic transition in the United Kingdom. Britain was still recovering from wartime shortages, and copper supplies were carefully managed. This coin was struck under the reign of George VI, whose portrait appears on the obverse. Pennies of this era circulated heavily, passing through countless hands during a time when small change was essential for daily life. As a result, many surviving examples today show heavy wear, corrosion, or dark toning, making well-documented pieces, even in damaged condition, historically significant. The obverse of the 1946 penny features the left-facing portrait of King George VI, surrounded by a Latin inscription indicating his royal titles. The reverse displays the iconic image of Britannia seated with a trident and shield, a design deeply rooted in British tradition. The coin was struck in bronze, a copper-based alloy that is particularly reactive to environmental conditions. Over decades, exposure to moisture, soil, or air can cause the surface to darken dramatically, resulting in the so-called black shade condition. While some view this as damage, others see it as a natural patina that reflects the coin's long journey through history and pristine grades. The 1946 1 penny is not considered extremely rare. However, coins in blackened or damaged condition with clear, readable details can attract a niche group of collectors. Some numismatists actively seek unusual toning, oxidation patterns, or corrosion marks because they make each coin visually unique. Additionally, collectors interested in post-war British history value these pennies as authentic artifacts of everyday life in the 1940s. When the date, monarch's portrait, and Britannia design remain identifiable, demand remains steady even for coins that would traditionally be labelled as poor or damaged. So, what is a 1946 UK 1 penny in black shade condition worth today? On average, heavily darkened or damaged examples typically sell for $324,000 in online marketplaces. However, coins with strong eye appeal, unusual toning patterns, or historical provenance can fetch $114,000 at auction. Exceptional cases such as error strikes, off-metal anomalies, or pennies with documented wartime storage effects may sell for even more. Prices fluctuate depending on collector interest, auction visibility, and overall condition, so value should always be checked against recent sales. If you own or are considering buying a 1946 1 penny in black shade condition, there are a few important tips to keep in mind. First, never attempt to clean the coin. Cleaning can drastically reduce its value. Second, store it in a dry, protective holder to prevent further corrosion. Third, compare your coin with recent auction results to get a realistic idea of its market value. Finally, if you believe your penny has an unusual error or historically significant toning, consider having it evaluated by a reputable coin dealer or grading service. In conclusion, the United Kingdom 1 penny 1946 may appear modest, especially in a blackened or damaged state, but it carries immense historical and collectible value. As a post-war coin tied to the reign of King George VI, it represents a pivotal moment in British history. While not every example is worth a fortune, the right combination of condition, eye appeal, and collector demand can make this penny a rewarding addition to any collection. Always remember, sometimes the darkest coins tell the brightest stories. Next up, the United Kingdom 1 penny 1944, examined specifically in fine condition. At first glance, this may look like a common wartime copper coin, but once you dig deeper, you'll discover why collectors around the world continue to chase this penny. In this video, we'll explore its historical background, unique design features, rarity levels, collector demand even in damaged condition, and most importantly, its auction market value in US dollars. Stick around until the end for expert tips that can help you decide whether this coin deserves a place in your collection. The 1944 British 1 penny was minted during the height of World War II, a time when the United Kingdom was under immense economic and industrial pressure. Despite wartime challenges, the Royal Mint continued producing essential coinage for everyday use. This penny was struck under the reign of King George VI, whose portrait appears on the obverse of the coin. Copper was still being used for pennies during this period, although metal shortages were becoming increasingly severe. As a result, Wartime coins like the 1944 penny carry strong historical significance, symbolizing resilience and continuity during one of the most difficult periods in British history. The obverse of the 1944 one penny features the bareheaded portrait of King George VI facing left, along with the Latin inscription Georgiv 6D GBR, meaning George VI, by the grace of God, King of all Britain. The reverse showcases the iconic seated Britannia design, holding a trident and shield, with the word penny and the date 1944 clearly visible. In fine condition, key details such as Britannia's outline, shield lines, and the king's facial features remain visible, though lightly worn. The coin typically weighs around 9.4 grams and measures approximately 30.8 millimeters in diameter, making it a solid and satisfying piece for collectors. While the 1944 one penny is not considered extremely rare in absolute terms, its collector appeal remains strong due to its wartime origin. Millions were minted, but survival rates in collectible condition are much lower, as many coins were heavily circulated. Even damaged or heavily worn examples, including bent, corroded, or cleaned coins, still attract interest from entry-level collectors and history-focused buyers. This demand is driven by affordability and the coin's clear connection to World War II. As a result, even low-grade examples continue to sell consistently in online marketplaces and auctions. When it comes to value, condition plays a crucial role. In fine condition, a 1944 UK one penny typically sells for $434,000 at auction, depending on eye appeal and surface quality. Coins with original color and minimal corrosion can sometimes exceed this range. In very fine or extremely fine condition, prices may climb to $214,000, while uncirculated examples can fetch significantly more. Damaged or heavily worn coins usually sell for $325,000, but bulk sales and historical sets can slightly increase demand. Auction platforms, collector forums, and coin shows remain the best places to gauge real-time market value. If you're considering adding the 1944 one penny to your collection, always examine the coin closely. Look for excessive cleaning marks, artificial shine, or heavy corrosion, as these can reduce value. Store your coin in a protective holder to prevent further wear and environmental damage. For collectors on a budget, fine condition examples offer the best balance between affordability and detail. If possible, compare prices across multiple auctions before purchasing. Lastly, remember that historical value often grows with time, especially for wartime coinage, making this penny a solid long-term collectible. The United Kingdom one penny 1944 may not be the rarest British coin, but its historical importance, classic design, and steady collector demand make it a standout piece in any collection. In fine condition, it represents an affordable gateway into wartime numismatics while still offering respectable auction value in dollars. Whether you're a beginner collector or a seasoned enthusiast, this coin tells a powerful story of endurance and history. Next up, the United Kingdom one penny from 1940. This coin, minted during a tumultuous period in history, has captured the attention of collectors worldwide. In this video, we will explore its history, unique features, rarity, collector demand, and current market value in dollars, along with some valuable tips for those looking to add this coin to their collection. Whether you are a seasoned numismatist or a beginner curious about British coins, this video is packed with insights that you won't want to miss. The 1940 UK one penny coin was issued under the reign of King George VI, who ascended the throne in 1936 following the abdication of Edward VIII. This period was marked by significant global upheaval, as the Second World War had already begun, and the UK faced economic challenges and material shortages. Despite these circumstances, the Royal Mint continued to produce pennies, maintaining the continuity of British coinage. The 1940 penny is part of a long tradition of pre-decimal coinage in the United Kingdom, where the penny played an essential role in daily transactions. These coins were struck in bronze, a common choice at the time, and typically featured the iconic image of Britannia seated with a trident and shield on the reverse, symbolizing strength and resilience. On the obverse, King George VI's portrait offers a glimpse into the era's artistry and royal imagery. The United Kingdom one penny 1940 is distinguished by several notable features. Firstly, the obverse shows a left-facing bust of King George VI, designed by the engraver Thomas Humphrey Paget. His meticulous work ensured that the coin reflected both regal authority and refined artistry. The reverse features the seated Britannia, holding her trident, with a shield at her side and the word 1 penny inscribed prominently, along with the year of minting 1940. Collectors often pay special attention to the coin's edge, which is smooth, and the quality of the strike, which can vary slightly depending on the minting process and the conditions under which the coin was stored for decades. The bronze composition gives it a warm, reddish-brown patina that develops over time, which can significantly affect the coin's aesthetic appeal and value. While the 1941 penny was produced in relatively large numbers, finding examples in very fine or better condition is considerably more challenging. Many coins from this period show signs of wear, corrosion, or damage due to circulation, environmental exposure, and the economic conditions of wartime Britain. Coins in poor or damaged condition are relatively common and are often acquired by beginner collectors for study purposes or as budget-friendly additions to a collection. However, coins that have retained their original details, with sharp images of King George VI and Britannia, are rare and highly prized. Even minor imperfections can impact the value, so collectors are particularly attentive to scratches, discoloration, or any flattening of design elements. The scarcity of high-grade examples makes the 1940 penny a compelling target for collectors who appreciate both its historical significance and aesthetic quality. The market value of a 1940 UK 1 penny can vary widely depending on its condition. Coins in good or fine condition might sell for a modest amount, often ranging from $5 to $15. However, a coin in very fine condition, which preserves intricate details of the King's portrait and the Britannia design, can fetch significantly higher prices. Currently, these coins in very fine condition are valued between $50 and $100, with auction prices occasionally exceeding these figures when rare variations or exceptionally well-preserved examples appear. Coins graded as extremely fine or uncirculated can achieve even more impressive prices, sometimes reaching several $100s in specialized auctions. The exact value often depends on subtle factors, including the coin's strike quality, patina, and any historical provenance that adds to its story. If you are considering adding a 1941 penny to your collection, here are some tips to guide your purchase. Examine the details. Focus on the sharpness of King George VI's portrait and the Britannia design. Coins with clear and well-defined images are more valuable. Check the patina. A natural reddish-brown patina indicates proper preservation, while unnatural coloring or cleaning can reduce value. Consult professional grading. If you are purchasing a coin as an investment, consider having it professionally graded by a reputable numismatic organization. Buy from trusted sources. Reputable coin dealers, auctions, and online platforms with verified sellers help ensure authenticity. Consider provenance. Coins with documented history or provenance can sometimes carry a premium. The United Kingdom 1 penny 1940 is more than just a coin. It is a tangible piece of history that reflects the challenges and resilience of its era. Its intricate design, historical significance, and rarity in very fine condition make it a prized collectible for numismatists around the world. Whether you are an experienced collector or just starting, this coin offers a fascinating glimpse into British history and the art of coinage. By understanding its features, rarity, and market value, you can make informed decisions that enhance both your collection and appreciation for these historical treasures. So, the next time you come across a 1941 penny, take a closer look. It might just be worth more than you think. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more deep dives into rare and valuable coins from the United Kingdom and around the world.